Have you ever felt exhausted after a social gathering or even after a fun party? Like your brain is getting foggy, you feel really tired, and you have an intense need to isolate in a quiet place. This happens to me even after having very good social times, and I used to think that it was because my social batteries were too small, but actually it is more than that. And if you're like me, you're not antisocial and you're not weird, but you are likely experiencing what scientists call the introvert hangover. I've spent years figuring how to navigate this as an HSP and as an introvert, an INFJ. So today I want to share with you the actual science behind the introvert hangover, the reasons why your brain processes social cues differently, and then ways to recover faster. So what is the introvert hangover? It is a term that describes the serious social burnout that introverts tend to experience. It is marked by significant mental and physical fatigue. It is caused by overstimulation. And remember that this is specific to you. So what makes you feel overstimulated is going to make extroverts or non-HSPs actually energized. But don't worry, you are not abnormal, you are not weird, and we're going to dive into this. Here's what happens scientifically. As an introvert, you have different neurological pathways. So one of the most life-changing things I learned about my brain is that social exhaustion is not a personality flaw, but it is actually a matter of brain wiring. In neuroscience, there is a concept called the long pathway of processing. So imagine a social interaction like something simple, someone is asking you a question. In an extroverted brain, that information, that input is taking a shortcut. It is quick, it is snappy. But in our brains, the introverted, the sensitive brain, the information is taking a much longer path. It takes the long pathway. It travels through the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for empathy, self-reflection, or complex planning. So we are not just hearing a question. We are deep processing the tone of the question, the body language, and the meaning behind it. We are literally working harder. So when you feel that the introvert hangover is hitting, it's not because you're antisocial. It is because your brain has been running a high-level diagnosis for hours. And that is a big part of the overstimulation that is leading to the introvert hangover. Secondly, dopamine sensitivity. So we are still talking about the brain here. Introverts are more sensitive to dopamine. We often think of dopamine as the happy chemical, but it is much more like the reward and excitement chemical. Extroverts have a high tolerance for it and they actually need it to feel buzzed, but as introverts and HSPs, we are much more sensitive to it. It means that too much social interaction, noise, or activities can flood your nervous system. So because the reward threshold is low in an introvert brain, introverts reach their maximum capacity for stimulation very fast. So imagine that your capacity for social stimulation is like a small cup. When you're at a busy event, dopamine is pouring into that cup. It is the loud music, the bright lights, the 3 different conversations that are maybe happening at the same time, and even the high of meeting someone new, and for a while, it is exciting. But because our cups are smaller and more sensitive, they fill up fast. And dopamine overload is the exact moment when that cup starts spilling over. So you may experience it as a glaze coming over your eyes when you're in the middle of a conversation. I know that this happens to me quite often. It's when maybe the music starts feeling too loud, you feel too hot, you feel like the room is too small, you start experiencing brain fog and tiredness, and you feel you need to withdraw immediately. So excess dopamine is activating the fight and flight response, which of course makes you feel tired and stressed. So once we understand the biology behind social exhaustion, we can learn to recover and to respect our needs as introverts here. And that's what I've learned and I'm gonna share with you now. So last time this introvert hangover happened to me, I was having a really good time with guests that were staying over. But I started to feel exhausted at one point in the evening and felt that I really needed to withdraw and to be by myself quietly. So I went by myself to clean the kitchen, I went to prepare the beds, and then I informed everyone that I was going to go to bed. In the bedroom, with the light dimmed, with my book, and being quietly by myself, that was exactly what I needed to recharge my batteries and to recover. So, how to recover faster? I think we can start seeing our need for space as a sort of superpower phase. And this is what I like calling the power of productive solitude. It is not just about doing nothing. It is about creating an environment where that long pathway we talked about can do its best work, and where you can rest and recharge, of course. So when we remove the noise and the dopamine coming from the external world, the brain is able to get back to its default state. A state where we get our most creative ideas, where we start finding solutions to what felt impossible maybe 2 hours ago, and where we truly reconnect to ourselves outside of people's expectations. I see it as the space and time where we come back to center. To give you an example, an extrovert might find their best ideas when they are in conversation. An introvert tends to find their best ideas when they are by themselves, when they are in this productive solitude phase. By choosing to spend time alone, you're not missing out on life. You are actually giving yourself space to process your life. And this is essential. So here are 3 actionable tips for productive solitude. Number 1, the brain dump. When you're by yourself, grab your journal and pick one confusing interaction from the day or something that has been bothering you and journal on it. This allows the prefrontal cortex to finish its processing. Number 2, low dopamine activities. It's no wonder that introverts tend to love reading or going to quiet libraries or museums or tranquil walks. It's because they are very low dopamine activities and they actually fill us up a lot more than they may fill up an extrovert. Those activities allow for the brain to get back to this default state where really great work can be done and great processing. It also allows the nervous system to settle. So on top of the above, it may be a gardening or a drawing or watercoloring or any activity that floats your boat. Number 3, the solitude ritual. If it helps, you can have a specific anchor for your alone time. It can be a designated space in your home or a specific chair. It signals to your brain, you are safe to turn inward now. And if you're like me and you just love being in different spaces in your home, then the anchor may be lighting a candle or some incense or making yourself a good cup of coffee. So your desire to be alone is not a social failure, and I really want you to integrate this. It is biologically how your brain and nervous system are wired. There is nothing wrong or weird. And you can actually achieve great things in this productive solitude when you embrace it, like getting ideas and inspiration, getting to understand yourself better, gaining in emotional maturity, properly resting, finding solutions, feeling more confident, actually. How was this video for you guys? Let me know in the comments if you found it useful, what your takeaways are, and if you liked this video, please share it with a friend or family member, like it, subscribe, leave a comment. That will be great. I'm sending you much love. Bye.